meat of the debate here, guys.
Yeah, and so no chats at the moment, no Q&A questions. So if you guys want to just jump right back in, go for it.
Okay.
Okay.
So you were saying about...
freedom to go to school. I'm super very personally, thank you very much, very into education. I very much enjoyed my education. I know it's a useless degree, largely. I mean, fantasy literature. However, my younger sister is pre-med at Duke, and I think that is something very worthy. I think it's very important that she is able to pursue that. So again, freedom to do so.
Go ahead.
Go into, as long as you have the skills to be able to go into any career field. And that goes for men and women. I think that, we should have more men working in education and, like childcare, elderly care. I think that we should have more women in trade. I think a lot of people assume women can't do trade, but my ex-girlfriend, who was 90 pounds, 5'1", became a welder. So I think ladies can manage most of the trades.
They can't.
Well, they can weld.
Yeah, weld well. What kind of welding did she do? Into the mic, by the way.
Oh, I don't remember. We broke up ages ago, but she was starting her apprenticeship.
She was starting her apprenticeship?
According to my mom, who kept up with her, she finished it. But I never
Does she work as a welder?
I don't know. I haven't talked to her in years.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of pie in the sky. I guess my counter argument to all of these is that basically every proposition you give me for what you think is expansion of freedom, which according to your definition is what feminism is for. Can we read the definition again that we agreed on real quick?
I think it was feminism equal egalitarian equity and the removal of patriarchy. That's just what I wrote down.
Mm-hmm. And you think that the point of feminism, though, from your view also, is to expand freedom for people. That was what...
Yes.
Yeah.
Not to have the freedom to...
do the things you don't like.
No, to take other people's freedoms.
Well, you're not taking anybody's freedom by not hiring them.
I think that you are creating an environment in which people's immutable qualities impact how much money they can actually make.
Yeah, but that's freedom.
Freedom for who?
It's freedom for both parties.
Freedom for employers, but not for workers.
They're free too. Well, how are they not free? What are they not free to do? To tell you what you have to do with your money? To tell you what you have to do with your resources? They're just as free. Like, what is the impact here on freedom exactly? Like, if you wanted real freedom, if you wanted a society that was truly free, you would not go in and legislate how employers could go about the rigorism of who they wanted to hire, who they didn't want to hire, and why.
Are you a libertarian?
No, I'm not a libertarian at all.
Christian. It sounds a bit libertarian.
No. It's following Christian ethics. The idea here is like, you don't get to make a determination, an unjustified determination at that. You just have this kind of like bizarre thing that you start with. People shouldn't be discriminated against based on immutable characteristics, and it's like, why the fuck not? If it's the case that they want resources from you that are yours and you don't want to give them to them, why the fuck not? Why can't you discriminate? Well, what about that is justified from your view?
Did Jesus discriminate against anyone on the basis of their immutable characteristics?
Well, based on immutable characteristics? Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure that he did. No.
All right. Well, isn't
but that's
fair,
a spirit.
It's been a long time. Since
I don't think that spirit. I don't think that spiritually we should do that.
Spiritually, shouldn't we aspire to be Christ-like?
Yeah, spiritually.
So giving, loving,
Yeah, sure. So let's go to the money changers and whip them, and let's go tell prostitutes to stop being hookers. Can we do that?
Yeah, but we do so with love and empathy.
Okay, love and empathy. But so, are you okay with Christians stopping prostitution? No. No. So,
well, I think, okay, let me be clear. I think that most women who are doing full service sex work, a lot of them that isn't necessarily what they wanted to do with their lives growing up.
Yeah, but you still support their freedom to do it if they want, right?
I think that they deserve protections. I don't want to see those women harmed at all.
Do you think it should be illegal to do or not?
I think it should be decriminalized.
So not illegal.
Not illegal, but
Yeah,
decriminalized, because I don't
So that's
want...
the thing, right? Is like you can't pick and choose which Christian ethics you would prefer that I apply and which I don't. And the thing is like here, I'm being remarkably consistent and just bit a bullet for you. I just said, yeah, I do agree, right? Based on immutable characteristics, Jesus Christ didn't discriminate from helping anybody with their spiritual health or anything else. I totally agree that that's true.
I think
but
that
when it
waiting
comes,
with loving arms...
yeah, but when it comes to how we engage in the world and people's preferences, there's nothing biblical about creating refusals to or that you have to hire people that you don't want to hire based on whatever it is you don't want to hire them for, or pay them whatever wage they demand you pay them.
Were Christians not, oppressed by the Romans? Were the Jews not driven out
Sure.
of like everywhere they ever tried to live?
Yeah, Christians
was that portrayed positively, or was that? Do you think like?
And Christians, when you talk about Christian reforms, the demands were not ever that, oh, wait a second, now we get to make a determination on what you do with your resources towards us. Where did Christians take over and then say, you have to treat us to the same exact wage as you do, this people group over here? That just never happened. It wasn't a factual case. And so it's like,
It's because Rome was deeply unequal.
well, no, just life is deeply unequal. So the
course,
the
but
question
I think that
the
we
question
can-
just becomes like, where are we getting this grounded ethic that it's okay to tell people what they can do with their stuff? It's theirs.
I mean, no one is saying it's just equal opportunity and trying to not make judgments on someone on the basis of.
But I
their
think it's
immutable
fine for people to make
characteristics.
judgments.
Of course, like if I am walking down the street at night and I see a large group of rowdy 20-something men, I'm going to be like a little bit like anxious. I'm going to be like, well, they're rowdy young men. That could be potentially dangerous.
Is it bad if I do that with black people?
Oh, I think that highly depends upon the context.
In the same context, I just see a group of
Of rowdy young men?
yeah, or just rowdy black people, and I cross the street. Is that racist?
I think it's just because they're black on the basis that you think they're going to jump you.
Yeah.
Do you think that happens often?
Do you think that if it was just a bunch of men and you cross the street and you call that sexist or not sexist, then how would that be racist the other way?
Well, because I think we have to consider which one is coming, on the basis of like personal experience versus like, I mean, how often have you been like harassed at night by rowdy black people? Like a crowd
If
of
you
rowdy
go
black
around, if you
people.
go around rowdy black people, yeah, they're probably going to harass you if you're white.
I used to walk through the Tenderloin at night by myself. This was when I was very butch. So, mind you, I
Walk
at
through.
a glance
You're going to
didn't-
walk through South Central by yourself.
I don't know where South Central is.
The point is, though,
I'm
is
talking
that
about
like
San Francisco. The Tenderloin is a
if
heavily
you're
black area.
you're informing your judgment that that the rowdy group of young men may do bad thing to you. That's
Historically, they do bother
and this
me.
would be the same information that a young white man or a young white woman would have if they're talking about. Hang on.
historically,
Let me
again,
make
when
the point, and then you can
Alright,
respond.
alright.
Is it not the case that young white men also have the exact same justification that you would have? That historically, now at least in their lifetimes, it does seem like whites are disproportionately attacked by black men. That
I would
white men
wanna
are
see
disproportionately attacked.
The stats on
And
that.
we can pull them up.
But again, I used
let's just
to,
look at interracial dynamics of violence, black on white versus white on black.
I think depending on where you are, sure. If you're in an area
no, it's not where you are. It's
racial
everywhere.
tensions are
It's
high.
it's everywhere.
Okay, well, I'm just saying.
It's everywhere.
I used to walk through the Tenderloin in San Francisco at night by myself. That is a heavily black area.
Mm-hmm.
And I was, the worst thing that ever happened was a guy tried to sell me weed. That was the worst thing that happened. And it was okay. And I looked again like,
But if you're informing, if a young woman is walking down the street and she's never been assaulted by young men before ever, and she's walking by a group of young, rowdy-looking men, right? And she just knows from hearing stories and from her observations and statistics and things like this, that she could be in some trouble there, and she crosses the street, would you say that that's sexist?
I would say technically yes, that is sexism, but I think that
So she does need to keep, in order to not be a sexist, she needs to keep walking through that crowd. You would advise her to do that?
I think that you can make some assumptions.
Oh.
Yeah. Would it technically be sexist?
So would you
Sure,
recommend
but
in
it's
that?
on the basis of like this.
So would you
is-
recommend she was sexist in that instance then? If you were going to give her advice? Would
I
you be
say
like,
be sexist?
Yeah,
no, I
in
would
that
say
instance?
don't get hurt.
but if she crosses the street based on her preconceived notions, even though these things haven't actually happened to her, and you were the advice giver, would you go ahead and advise her to cross the street?
Yeah, if it was my little sister, absolutely.
Of course. And so you would advise her to be sexist. So then why wouldn't that apply to race?
I don't know how to say this other than I think you only get harangued by black people as a white person if you're being real weird. Like, I think you have to be like...
What?
What reason would a group of rowdy black people have to bother a young white guy?
They kick the fuck out of them and take their money. What are you talking about?
Okay, like jumped? You're worried about getting jumped?
Yeah, of course. The same thing you would be worried about.
Yes, sure, then avoid them. But you should probably avoid groups of white guys too, because you could get jumped also.
But if it's racist, then no. Well, wait a second now. If
Depends
all
on
of
where you
if
are.
all of the
Again.
things that you're
Again.
if all the things you're
Again.
informed on, all right, are telling you exactly the opposite, and you would advise your little sister to be sexist, why shouldn't I advise my little brother to be racist in that situation?
I think it depends upon where you are. Again, if you are seeing a group of young men, regardless of race, who just seem like they're dudes out having a fun time, or if it looks like it could be gang activity related or something like that, I think you just have to make judgment calls there. And that can be regardless of race.
Is it racist to do? Is it racist to cross the street because you see a group of young black men?
If you saw a group of young black men in suits with briefcases, would you be afraid of them?
Well, wouldn't you be afraid of? Do you think that
No,
it's?
I wouldn't be afraid of a group of men in suits walking with briefcases.
So you're just saying
I said
that-
rowdy young men.
Well, that's funny because then I guess if you were going to give advice to SAers, you would just advise them to have a suit and briefcase, right?
No, that's not what I would advise them. But what I'm saying
Well, I mean,
is
but
that-
hang on. It is, right? Wouldn't that be an entailment that you would advise them to just have a suit and a briefcase? Because if that's the case, Charlie's going to be fair game for you because she's not going to avoid you.
I would assume that there would be less danger if it's a group of sober businessmen. Yes, I would assume that they are less likely to assault me than a group of young men who are drunk and rowdy.
Don't you think that the people who have the most resources to like kind of beat the rap might actually be the most likely to do that?
Of course, but again, if we're talking about street harassment, it's probably not going to be from business. They're like molesting their secretaries or whatever. It's not.
Yes, I don't know. It seems like we're saying the same thing. You would advise if it was a young group of men, your sister to cross the street, and if somebody advised that it's black men and advised their little brother to cross the street based on all of the experience data that they have, I don't really understand. I still don't really understand the distinction.
Because one is based on the fact that women get sexually harassed fairly frequently. I don't know.
And the
many
other one
white
is
guys-
based on the fact that
I
there's
don't know
interracial
many-
violence fairly frequently.
Okay. 13% of the American population is black. And regardless of how far we've advanced, most populations are not mixed. Most areas are still fairly segregated. What are the chances of white guys experiencing being assaulted by black men to the same degree as women being assaulted by men?
Why would it need to be the same degree?
Because I think if it's a low chance, something that's probably not going to happen, that's different from something.
Well,
that
how low
happens
of a
all the
chance?
time.
How low of a chance before I'm not racist when I cross the street? Does it need to be? Like, how low of a chance does it need to be before I'm not racist for crossing the street?
Like 1%. But even then, I don't think like that'd be 1 in 100 times you
Your
see
chances
black
of
guys out
getting
in public.
SA'd by a group of men is way less than 1%.
Or sexually harassed or just
Way
yelled at.
less than 1%. Way less.
I'm going to respectfully disagree. I had an experience. It wasn't me. It was
Disagree with what? You want to see the stats? Like just in essays. We just go off of just.
Well, I'm also just talking about sexual harassment.
What does that mean? They catcall you?
Bother you? Yeah.
They just catcall you?
Yeah, it's annoying. No
Yeah,
one
so I
likes
mean,
it. And it can be scary.
So
and
what would you
weird
like
because of
less
the
if you were a young
implication.
man to get your ass kicked by a group of young black guys, or get catcalled by a group of white dudes?
I mean, the likelihood of a group of black guys beating you up, again, at most they might say mean things to you. That's probably maybe
At the
I don't
most,
know.
they might say mean things to you, that other group of men that you're avoiding. But you would still recommend the kids or your kid sister to cross the street to engage in the sexism. And yet, for some reason, when somebody uses the same argument from the racial lens, you're like, no. And it's like, that's a very inconsistent
because
position.
it's not based on reality.
It is based on reality. What reality is it not based
there's
on?
I do not hear of like interracial beat-ups. Like, do you have any statistics
Yeah.
on the likelihood of white people being beaten up by black people?
In comparison to the other way around, strap yourself in.
I was trying to find something earlier, but it wasn't coming up. But so basically, you guys just want me to look for white on black crime versus black on white crime.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or at least
Assault.
like,
Give me a few moments to find it.
And look at
Yeah.
the essay stats, interracial essay stats, and then you tell me.
why interracial essay
Well,
stats?
because then I would think that in order to be consistent, you would bite the bullet that you would tell your little sister if it was a group of young black men to cross the street over if it was a group of young white men, just based purely on the statistics of which one's more likely to assault you, right?
Well, women are most likely to be victimized by men of their own race.
Which is why we're looking at what data point here? Interracial.
Okay, well, why are we looking at interracial?
Because if
sexual
one
assaults?
is much more likely
I'm
to
talking
assault
about
you
men
than
of
the
any
other.
race, a woman of any race, and a group of men of any race, versus you talking about a white person.
Yeah.
Versus
Do you know
a group
what?
of black
Can you tell
people.
me what per capita means, Charlie?
No.
No. Okay. I didn't think so. But anyway, let's move back to this. So it's pretty simple. Okay.
Do you want to tell me?
Yeah. Per capita is just when you isolate for a segment in order to adjust for the percentage against the whole. So it'd be something akin to this, right?
Okay.
Let's say you had two black men and you had I don't know, 8 white dudes. Okay, so for a total of 10, right? 10 represents 100% of all of these people in this people group. Okay, and you have 4. You have 4 of the white guys who commit crimes, right? Like SA, and then you have both of the black men who commit SA. If you're trying to determine which out of the people group committed more SA, would you then adjust for the 2 black men, because that's now 100% of black men who are committing SA, or for the 4 white guys, because now that's only 50% of white men who commit SA?
So it would be like relative to population size. That's
Yeah,
what you're
per
saying.
capita.
Okay. Yeah.
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 So it's super important to understand this,
No,
right?
when it
Because
comes to
even if
sex,
it's the
yeah.
case that most SA crimes happen within your own race, that could very well be true. What you'd really be looking at, though, is the per capita percentage.
Sure.
So,
yeah, let's get that then.
Yeah.
Still working on it. I'm not finding any.
But if it were the case, I just want to know, if it were the case that interracially they attacked white women far more than white men attacked black women, then wouldn't you give the advice to your little sister to cross the street?
Yeah, if that was a thing that was happening, where sure, like black men are just out there hunting white women like animals,
Well,
I guess I would.
You see, hang on. Did you see how you just characterized that with a terrible straw man? Did I say anything about black men hunting down white people like animals?
Essaying.
Did I say anything
You
about
said
them hunting?
Essaying white women.
Did I say anything about them doing that?
No, but the implication.
No, so you just made there's no implication of that either. Just an implication.
The implication is
of
that
the
black men are sexual predators.
No, the
and
implication is only
uniquely violent.
What? Okay, how is that implied? If it's the case that more black people do commit more R crimes than white people do, how is that anything other than a fact?
Well, it's not a fact.
It is a fact.
It's not.
Are you
And
sure?
we also have to test for, we have to consider convicted for.
Oh,
Like
it's
you
even
said, like I said earlier.
it's even worse.
Like I said earlier.
It's so much worse, Charlie, than you think. It's so
people
much.
going innocent. Or,
Charlie, it's worse than you could ever imagine.
What do you mean?
You're about to find out when Brian pulls up the stats. It's worse than you could ever imagine.
Okay, well, will you concede that not all convicted sex criminals are guilty of what they have done?
Of course.
Okay.
But
Is
will
it
you
not true
concede
that we have a justice system?
But hang on, but will you concede that most of the people who are convicted of the crimes that they committed those crimes? Because
I'm not sure, actually.
Well, then what's the point of things like judicial review? And what's the point
I
of
think
things
that it would
like what's the
depend-
point of things like that? What is the point of doing all of these audits? What is the point of all the studies and things like this if crime itself was not mostly being placed in its proper categories and people being convicted for the correct
Do you think
crimes?
people experience more outrage when a member of the out group assaults a member of the in group versus when a member of the in group assaults a fellow member of the in group?
The out group.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think that people in general are going to be far more upset about a black man essaying a white woman than they would be about a black man essaying a black woman.
Okay.
Right?
Let's just
So
grant
again,
it,
if
sure.
we're looking at convictions, there's also a history of false accusations, against black men by white women. That is a fact. That has happened.
Mm-hmm.
So I would also consider that as well.
Yeah, I mean, throughout the entire historic standard, sure, but like just the last 10 years, no, there's not much of that.
All right.
Not much in the way of false accusations going on there. Things like DNA, we have DNA testing. That's the big one, the DNA.
But a lot of rape kits don't happen. A lot of cases don't have rape kits involved.
So don't trust
with them.
women? Or should we believe all women?
I think that you can believe victims, but I think that you can also account for, like a pattern of racism.
So don't believe
in the
it?
justice system.
So don't believe all women?
That's not what I'm saying.
Well, I don't
I
understand.
think that you should.
Should
trust
I believe
victims.
all women or not?
You know what? I'm gonna be real with you here. No.
Yeah, fuck no.
I think that you should actively, when someone
Right.
makes accusations,
Yeah.
you should be careful, but you should also investigate, because I have seen false accusations fly.
Yeah.
I don't mean that you should be like, you dumb B word, you deserved it, you nasty, but you should wait until you have more confirmation.
Okay.
I did find it. Finally, I apologize for the delay. I think Google might have been suppressing it. I had to go to X to find the actual infographic. Pull it up, please. All right. So, Mary, you're going to have to make us smaller, okay? So make us right small. And then hide right this one. Okay. Interracial violent incidents per capita of offending race. And this is from a Bureau of Justice Statistics National Crime Victimization Survey from 2018. So white on black there, 30, Hispanic on black 76. Well, I'll just do, okay, so white on black 30, black on white 1,288 versus 30 for white on black.
Well, gee, Chuck, it seems like, based on what you just said earlier, if I could demonstrate this to you, you said that you would advise your little sister to cross the street. Do you hold to that?
By the way, this is incidents per 100,000 offender population.
Do you hold to it, Chuck? Do you hold to it? Are you going to advise your sister to cross the street now?
Nah, because I think it's white boys that are getting beat up.
Can you pull up the interracial essay statistics, please?
Sure,
Well, again,
give
we'd
me a
have
moment
to-
to find it.
It's just going to get worse as we go here, Charlie.
All right, well,
I'm
what
telling you,
saying is
it's
that
just going to get
half the
worse.
population is male, half the population is female. The encounters between, and then 13.3% of the population is black.
Yeah, and even less of that is male. It's only about 6% that's male.
Yeah. And so, but again, the justice system,
Remember that word we were looking for, per capita.
yeah. the justice system also does punish black people more. Black people are convicted more for the same crimes than white people.
Did it ever occur to you it's because they commit more crimes?
Well, if you look at comparisons to actual crimes committed versus conviction rates, it's committing crimes at about the same rate, but black people are more likely to be sentenced.
Because they're on their third time doing a crime. That's why. And that's never adjusted for in the data.
Do you have proof?
Yes,
for
we
that?
can pull it up. Yeah, you name whatever study you want right now, and I'll pull up the methodology, and I can guarantee you that if we look on the offenses by offense list, is it, oh, this white dude, he went in and he stole a car, and he got 1 year, okay? And this black guy got 10 years. That's not fair. And you know what's often left out? That's his 15th crime. And that's why he got the higher sentence. That's what I've noticed when I look at that data. But the thing, I'm willing to look at whatever data you got. I'm happy to parse it out.
Well, I didn't prepare for this.
I know, I understand, because
I did not prepare. I prepared for debate on feminism.
that is, but this is part of that debate, because it's showing a worldview inconsistency that you have, which is that men are mean, bad, evil patriarchy. You would advise your sister to cross the street, right, in order to avoid them.
Men are evil, mean, bad.
Okay, you're right.
I'm
That was a
looking at-
straw man, so let me be more charitable.
Okay.
You would tell your sister to cross the street when it came to a group of rowdy young men, right? And you say that you would advise her to do that even if she personally didn't have any bad experiences with rowdy young men, just based on experiences you've had and data and various things you've observed. And yet, if somebody does that and says to their little sister, hey, stay away from young black men, right, based on the same exact criteria, that's somehow fucking racist. That's what's crazy to me, is like, just, can we get some consistency?
We didn't pull up the essay rates. And again, I would think that violent offenses would
When you see
largely
this,
be
Charlie, when you see this,
But again, we also discussed that the justice system is more likely to convict
It's not-
black
look,
men essaying white women than they are to convict
you know
black
what? I'm
men
even willing to
essaying
give it
black women.
I'm even willing to give it some absurdly high number. Like, they're wrong about 5%.
Okay.
And it wouldn't even come close to compensating for the distinction. Not even close.
All right. I mean, do you personally experience a fear of black people?
It's not a fear of black people. It's an understanding. And by the way, do you know who taught me this? Black men. They were the ones who taught me this. Because you know who's the least likely to walk around a group of young black men they don't know? Black men. That's the wildest shit, but it's true.
Depending on the area, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
true.
It highly depends on the area.
Yeah.
Again, like if you are walking through an area that has like a lot of
Did you by
gang
chance
violence-
find them stats?
Still
Not yet.
looking for it.
Someone will send it to you on X. But yeah, it's bad, Charlie. It's bad. So like the interracial distinction is not even in the same universe, and neither is the violent crime assault rates. And if we go down by women, it's even worse. It's just every time you go to the next criteria, it just will get worse for your argument. I promise. I would just
What
bite
about
the
controlling
bullet.
for gang violence?
Yeah, even if we control for gang violence. Even if we control for gang violence, even if we have the same socioeconomic systems, even if we have the same amount of money being made, right? It always seems to be the case that this is the case.
That they're convicted more.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I would want to do my own research into this because, again, conviction rates don't indicate that someone is doing more of the crime necessarily or is more guilty of it.
I think they do indicate that, in fact, that conviction rates do indicate that. I think that you have a point where you can say, hey, we should look into these conviction rates and see if it's the case that, A, B, and C is correct. That's fine, right? But it would have to be a lot of convictions, I'm telling you. It's pretty bad and lopsided. But anyway, back to this. I guess
I do have the data, by the way.
Yeah.
It says per capita, let's see here, hold on. Per capita, black arrest rates for rape/sexual assault are estimated at 2 to 3 times higher than white rates, 2.6x overall.
Yeah, I fully believe that black men are arrested for rape more. 100%.
At 3
But I
times
don't
the rate?
Yes, but I don't think they commit it more than white men.
Based on what?
The
Just
fact
like
that
your gut feeling?
Sexual assault rates are pretty consistent across races.
No, they're not. No,
The
they're
women that
not. They're
experience-
not.
Except for indigenous women.
No, just not at all. They're not consistent.
All right.
Like, for instance, Asians, they commit the least amount of it. They get the least amount in the United States of sexual assaults. Right? Now, that's true that they consistently commit the least amount. I'm willing to agree with that. But that would obviously have a logical entailment that black men commit the most amount, right? That would be the entailment there. So, like, if we're saying that it's the rates are consistent, so Asians are consistently low, then wouldn't that put, like, black men at consistently high?
I would be curious about that because if we look at like Korea and Japan, where SA is kind of like so severe to the point that like women in Japan have their own like train cards. I would be curious if that has to do again with people feeling pressure to conceal these sorts of things, being less
No, it's
likely
because
to loyalty to
because those
family.
cultures are fucking perverted as shit because they're godless. And that's one thing that people forget about is like it's like how Japan has all the laws where they have the fucking young girls walking around in the mini skirts at all of the schools and the principals, they're always for it, right? They sell women's underwear out of vending machines. They have massive porn shops where you start on the bottom floor and as you continue to ascend, it goes to worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and more hardcore porn. It's a very perverted society.
Well, I lived in Nevada for 6 years, so this feels a little...
Nevada's not as perverted as Japan.
Reno, there was porn shops everywhere. It's been cleaned up now?
I lived in Reno, too, and no, there wasn't.
It's been cleaned up now.
There wasn't. I was there 20 years ago. There was not.
20? Okay, well, what part of Reno did you... Well, I mean, you don't
What
have
do you
to tell me. I
mean?
don't want you to dox yourself.
Reno's not big enough for us to be quibbling about parts, okay?
Well, at least when I was a kid, there was a whole lot of naked ladies everywhere.
Yeah, there was strip clubs. There's still strip clubs. There was prostitution houses that you had to go to way outside of Reno. And then...
Bunny Farm, yeah.
Yeah, and then...
They do weird things there.
Okay, well, I don't care, and that's gross. But anyway,
Okay.
The point is that inside of Reno proper, no, it looks like a pretty normal city. There's a couple of extra strip clubs in the downtown area. But no, it was never like an overly gross city.
If we Googled youth pastor crime... I feel I've done this before. It's all sex crimes. So I feel like if we are saying that Japan and Korea are perverse because they are godless, I think that we should look at the rate of like essays committed in churches.
As long as we can look at the amount of essays committed in public schools, Charlie.
Sure, yeah,
By
we can
teachers.
absolutely do that.
And so the thing is like, wouldn't it stand to reason that predators go where the prey is?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, then why wouldn't they move into being youth pastors to get access to children, just like they go to
Yeah,
public
of
schools
course.
to get access to children?
Of course, but those
Yeah.
are people that we assume believe in God.
And we assume that the secular ethics held by teachers, same ethics that you hold, right, are that they're not going to diddle kids, but they fucking do.
Well, I mean, what percentage of teachers are atheist? To be fair, I grew up in a very religious area.
Highly secular.
Okay.
Public schools are highly secularized, where well, first of all, the school system itself is secular, period.
Yeah, of course.
It's removed from religion.
Yeah.
How many identify as being Christian in the school system who are women? Most of them are college educated. And as you know, the rates of not believing in God among the college educated are pretty high.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Yeah.
But I also think it does highly depend on which area that you are.
Well, yeah, everything
like,
depends
I think
on.
cities are going to.
Yeah,
be
they depend on
very
areas,
secular.
but that would be the same thing for the youth pastor. That's going to depend on area too. So the point
SA
is,
rates?
yeah,
is going to depend on area for
Sure.
youth pastors.
of course, just like it would for
Why?
public schools. Of course.
No, I think the SA rates would remain the same. What I mean is religion.
I don't think they do remain the same. Depending on demographic, it's not going to remain the same. Like, for instance, I would say that in minority schools, the chances of molestations probably increase.
Yeah.
So then, no, that's
Well,
not.
because who's going to listen to those kids?
Yeah, so it doesn't stay the same then. That's my point.
We have some chats coming through, so we'll take a break for those.
A message from the Government of Canada.
Past Chi George donated $200.04. If feminism is a net positive for Western society, including other first world countries, then why are many feminist countries suffering the effects of birth rate and worker shortage crisis?
That is because when women are given the choice to not have kids, a lot of the time they choose not to have kids until they're ready for it. And while this problem is currently being mitigated
No, it's not.
through immigration, I do. Okay, hold on. Listen to me. I need you to hear me out.
All right, I'm gonna hear
I need you to
you
just
out.
pause and hear me out. People are resources, and to keep the world running on this grand global industrialized scale that we have it running on, we have to have resources. I think even if you don't believe in climate change, resources are finite. We will reach a point in which the rate at which we produce, and we already produce too much, like things. We already make too much stuff that we don't use. We will run out of resources. I think that we are going to have to account for a world in which we will make less and have less resources. Less people is good for that. I think that this just signals the beginning of what will become a trend across the world, which is women having less children. And I think we have to figure out the problem, or the answer to that problem, sooner rather than later.
Yeah, so everything you just said is total bullshit, and I'll demonstrate it all. The book which predicted this is called The Population Bomb. It predicted the same exact thing that you did, that as the population increases, resources are going to become more finite.
Oh no, it's not population increase. It's the how much we produce. We make too much.
Because
we are making too much.
For who?
To sell crap
To who?
to the consumers.
So then that
And then
would
we
require,
waste it.
would
We
that
make too
require
much all
more
the
or
time.
less people to sell more?
No, but we make more
Hang
than
on,
we
Charlie,
actually need.
would it make, yeah, okay, right, but the more people you have, the more shit you make, right?
Yes, and we also build it to break.
Yeah, but
so we're no longer.
Yeah, I get it,
like,
but just hang on, just stay
All
with me. If you make more stuff for more people, then that infers you need more people. And what you're saying is we need to, as the birth rates decrease, we're going to stop making more stuff for more people because there's less people.
Well, I think that we're going to run out of resources to do so. I think it will become more dangerous, more taxing on the environment, and
To
lead
what?
to more instability. To continue like rapid industrialization, like again, making the amount of crap that we do.
Yeah, but we only make the amount of crap we do because we have a lot of people, right?
We make more than we actually need, though. I mean, you see grocery
but
stores throw away all the food that
But
they
do you
produce.
understand how that doesn't answer the question? Like, my question is, if we had 5 people, are we going to make less for them than 9 people, even if we make more than what 9 people need?
Sure, but that's not actually how capitalism functions. The rate of production always goes up. Even when needs are met, it always, always, always goes up forever. Like, never-ending growth is the point, like a cancer. And again, we always make things to break. We make things to break so that we can keep selling people the same things. If we produced as much as we needed and we made things to not break, then
But Charlie,
it would be fine.
the
It'd be
population
different.
bomb predicted that, and just let me finish, that society was going to increase in size, and what was going to happen is, because of the massive amount of resources that would then be necessary, there was going to be a collapse. It was going to bomb. The opposite happened. The population exploded, and now we had all of the manpower on deck in order to take care of everybody. Food distribution, like under your crazy system, right?
We have enough food to feed everyone, correct.
Yeah,
We
but
just
that's
don't.
only because we have the people resource. That's the only reason. Like, do you know the logistical nightmare it is to get bananas all over the world? They grow in like
Yeah, I
3
know,
places.
It's crazy. But what I'm saying is that's
How do
not
you do that without people?
That's not sustainable, though.
Why isn't that fucking sustainable? Yeah, it is.
I mean, we're going to run out of natural resources eventually.
What natural resources do you think we're going to run out? You put the seed in the ground and it grows, and then it makes more seeds. That's how it works. It's been going like that for thousands of years.
Forest is one, oil as well. I mean, so much of the Amazon has been mowed down to grow soy to feed to cows. And then they have, like, what is it, the cheese cave in Wisconsin? Mm-hmm. Where they store all the cheese that they're not selling. And we also have to supplement farmers when they don't sell the stuff that they're making, which sucks. So again, like this rate of production is not sustainable. Like
Yeah, but that's not. Look, if it was the case that you wanted to actually do something about that, then wouldn't you move towards a more capitalist society? Because under a more capitalist society, we wouldn't be subsidizing fucking anybody for anything, right? The whole point.
Well, yeah, I mean, with farmers specifically, yes, that would change, but also there wouldn't be the same pressure to create more, significantly more than we actually need. And also when it comes to,
Well, they're not making more than we need. If you're storing cheese, you're storing it to sell it later, right?
Oh, it's because it's overproduction. I mean, do you know how much food grocery stores throw out?
Oh, yeah, tons, because it expires.
Tons. Yes,
Yeah,
because
but
we're making more than we need.
Yeah, but you have to do that because you have what's called a market predictor. If you don't have a market predictor, you know how much worse it would be? Like just trying to guess how many tomatoes people wanted to eat. That would be really difficult to do. So you have a market predictor and you do an overage of that because you're like, well, we could sell that much or we may make a little bit more than we actually are going to sell. But we want to have more because...
It's a bit more than a little bit more.
In which field?
I mean, in like...
Because it's scalable, right? Like you're trying to make for every single market enough ground beef, but you're never going to be able to hit that on the nose. So wouldn't you rather come in over than under? Like that's the whole point, isn't it?
Sure, I guess, but again, we are at a like in a place where it's not just trying to have enough to ensure that you have a little bit of a surplus. It's making as much as possible
to meet the demand.
Not the demand. I think with
yeah,
I don't
the demand.
Speak on farmers. I don't want to speak on farmers because I don't.
Well, they're subsidized.
Yeah,
that's
they're subsidized
different.
again.
But most people only bring to market what they think they're going to be able to sell.
Do you think that farmers do farmers make more? Do they get more subsidies when they make more?
Final thought on this one, if you guys can.
Okay, yeah, we'll bring it back to
sorry.
feminism.
And we do have some more Q&As coming through.
Okay.
We'll just move it on then. We have Jones here with the
Mossy
message.
Jones donated $100. By Andrew's logic, does he want to roll back the civil rights movement protections against discrimination? Plus, discrimination is against Christian ethics. There are verses in Scripture that condemn it.
Yeah, so that's great. Are we supposed to legislate that into law, though? Are we supposed to legislate it into law, or is the whole point of following Christian ethics that you're doing it of your own volition? So I don't see any problem. Like, people discriminate against each other all the time for all sorts of reasons that make a lot of sense. Like, just, a lot of times discrimination makes a lot of sense. And people always pretend that it doesn't, but it does. For instance, organizations that don't want to hire women, I completely fucking understand why they don't want to. I totally get it. Women cause all sorts of problems in a workplace. They have to now deal with, coworkers potentially having sex, or all sorts of allegations that wouldn't normally happen in intersexual dynamics that now are being brought into the workplace. I totally understand why men wouldn't want to hire women. This seems fine to me. When you're talking about the Civil Rights Act itself, I don't think that there's any problem with saying that, look, you have to provide medical care if there's a black man dying in front of your building, okay? Maybe we can make some compromises there. But when it comes to the fact that you can tell a black man that he can't serve a white person, or he has to serve a white person because they're white, I'm not really sure that I'm not really sure that should be codified into law. I think that has nothing to do with actual freedom, and that's all bullshit cope. Like, how's that maximize freedom for anybody? It doesn't. It doesn't. And you have a business, and it should be up to you to be able to hire and fire who you want for any reason, any time, because it's yours.